Hey guys,
How's it going, gentlemen?
happy sip day.
That's right.
Everyone sipping on something? Joe, what are you sipping on? Anything?
Got the morning coffee. What do we talk about today?
Got that group benefit life insurance. Do you have it? Do you have it available to you? Are you offering it to your employees? And maybe what are some applications for group benefit life insurance? It- as a employee, you may have coverage that's offered to you from your employer, sometimes at no cost to you. Popular kind of increments would be $50,000 of coverage, or sometimes you'll see as a percentage of salary, like a one-time salary or a two-time salary. Oftentimes, this type of coverage is available to you with no underwriting or a limited underwriting. And by underwriting, I'm talking about sort of health questions that the insurance company would ask to see how you're doing, if they're going to be placing a wager on your life that you aren't going to die, so they can hold on to the death benefit. So if you are having trouble qualifying for life insurance independently due to a medical history or um, maybe a medical diagnosis, a medical future that you have, you may be able to obtain life insurance through your employer at with a limited health inquiry or requirement. So it's great for those who have trouble getting life insurance. A lot of times you can get it on a spouse or a child as well, which could be advantageous if they have trouble qualifying for life insurance. Group benefit life insurance typically would have a higher cost for a healthy person, but maybe a lower cost for somebody who is having some health issues or is otherwise uninsurable. So if you're a young, healthy person, maybe worth it to go out and shop in the private market to see what kind of life insurance that you could qualify for, what the pricing is, to see if it's more affordable than group coverage. Uh, Portability is something that is a factor of group insurance. If you have insurance coverage through your employer, but then you change jobs, that could affect the coverage that you have. Some policies will allow you to take it with you, but others, the coverage might just stop. So it's something that if they're offering it, it's really good to kind of see what that offer is, and if it's available to you at no cost, make sure that you sign up for it and make sure that you set up your beneficiaries appropriately as well. And that's something that you should review, periodically to make sure that they're up to date with it with different changes. We see a lot of people have minor children that are listed versus and they've gotten estate documents done after the fact and that hasn't been coordinated. So that's something to take a look at.
Yeah, I think we just, Scott, you and I just saw that where we had a client that passed away as an employee of a company. So, getting a death benefit claim there. Then you have the flip side of that same conversation, which is on the employer side. I had this conversation yesterday, and it's just tedious to me when I hear it, where the person said, well, if somebody died, I would take care of them. And, as you think about that from the business owner, and I actually have seen this before where like a business owner continued to pay a salary for like a year for somebody that was no longer working there. I would argue that's not really fair to the business owner or to the other employees of the business if you're going to just continue paying indefinitely. And then even then, after a year is over, in this case it was a disability, so not exactly the same, but similar concept. Like, what does it mean to take care of the person? Because I think it's an uncomfortable area of if the employee is deceased. I mean, are you just going to write the estate a check, or are you going to stop paying the other way? Because I had a call last year from somebody about this topic because they had an employee died and the spouse called to like cash the last paycheck because they didn't have any money. And the guy immediately was like, I got to get group life insurance. He goes, because I'm never taking a phone call like that again. If an employee that I care about and I like dies, and then like the spouse is like trying to get $500 to, bury the person. He said it was just horrible to take that phone call. So group life insurance from an employer side does two things. one, you largely likely care about your employees and want, their well-being and their family's well-being. If somebody tragically dies while working for your company, I mean, nobody's excited to say, gee, I'm glad that person's off my payroll. Like nobody thinks like that. So having the life insurance in place does provide a death benefit, like Skylar said, generally one times salary, to help, offset expenses or help the family kind of figure out what they're going to do now that the person paid. So that helps there. It also helps with a bit of a separation. So you're not in this nebulous zone of like, well, I'll take care of the family. Taking care of the family in this case means, okay, we've already planned for this in advance and we have these group benefits in place that will pay, one-time salary to the employee, which I think is a reasonable thing for everybody to sign up with when they know the terms walking in.
Well, and I
Yeah,
think
it
it
sets it.
creates quite a gray area too for the employer because it's like, well, your idea of taking care of the employee and their family might be very different of what that employee's family thinks about.
Exactly.
And I think it also takes a big um burden off of the employer's plate when, one-time salary. I mean, if you're making 50,000, 80,000, $100,000 a year, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, well, I'll take care of that employee. And are you paying $100,000 out of the company's pocket, or have you just been paying the premiums for that employer or the employee over a little bit of time, and then all of a sudden you're not on the hook for $100,000 or whatever that number is. So I think there's a lot of benefits on both sides, like you guys were saying, for employers and employees.
Yep.
And what if you had multiple employees that were to pass away in the same year or in a close amount of time, and then you're trying to take care of everybody, or you have to
Hmm.
pick and choose where you're doing it. So the group policy really it defines what it is, so the employee knows like here's what's involved, and then so take some of the ambiguity and add some certainty into what is going to happen.
Hmm.
And you're able to do it, like you said, at a premium, which is going to be a small paycheck versus having to write the big ones.
Right.
Yep. Well, I think,
No one likes having insurance until you need it.
yeah.
That's true.
All right. Good conversation, guys.
All right,
Cool.
thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Take
Have a good
care.
week.